What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down slightly, 0.28%, 530 for the high, 515 the low. So definitely a lot of interesting things are kind of taking place today. At least NIO is starting to recover alongside many of the other Chinese EVs. So for instance, right here, you do have Li up 1.5, XPeng up 6.7. largely because of the data that did come out from Europe. So even though new vehicle registrations did fall, China's pretty much taking over Europe. So year over year, 80% increases, and I don't think anyone can complain with that. So logically, you would assume that NIO would be moving higher. And even leading into today, NIO's technicals and everything were looking pretty on point. The big thing though is shorts. So in NIO's case, which isn't occurring in Li and XPeng, is shorts are doubling down. So shorts at the time of doing this video, increasing 1.53 million shares, 7.3% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 148.8 million shares overall being shorted. So there's two different levels of sketchy manipulation going on. So NIO right now, cost to borrow minimum is negative. So that does mean that there is brokers out there paying people to short NIO. So you have that as one. Second being, you have more shares being shorted than on loan. So that shouldn't happen. So ultimately, a little bit more of a naked shorting type of scenario. At its peak, it looks like shorts were increasing about 9.5 million shares. And quickly going over here, so NIO right now is sitting at 27.5 million for volume. So shorts are making up for a good about 50% at least of the daily volume. So this is the biggest difference why NIO is lagging in comparison to other Chinese EVs, and it's simply shorts. So rather unfortunate. There was one thing that did come out, and it's just a top list, top 5 large SUV sales in China as of January 2026. And yours truly, ES8, definitely dominated. So you can kind of see 18,446, M8 being the second best, being at 7,500. So good stuff. Normally what would happen is NIO would move higher because of this, because anything demand, new launches, milestones, typically that causes NIO to move higher. But again, with shorts doing what they're doing, they're kind of just trying to suppress it. And this is something as well I did bring up in my pre-market video, just the fact that it was very apparent that shorts were going to really try to suppress NIO. So aside from that, 1.6 million in calls, 417,000 in puts, 44% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you still see a good amount of optimism that it'll be between that 550 and 6 by the end of this week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 5. So definitely a little bit more of a back and forth. So far, only 3 transactions on the secondary market, 2 sells and 1 buy. So that 1 buy is 158,000. That was done pretty much around 9 o'clock. So that was that nice little bit of a recovery. And then you did have the 2 sells, and that's pretty much, you can tell is the same entity based on the timestamp, but 108,000 and then 102. Dark pool, very active. So this is, of course, given how active shorts are doing and what they kind of have been trading so far, it is fair to assume that most of these transactions are linked to them. At the same time, you do see a lot of hold numbers. So hedge funds are clearly involved and might be kind of the main reason why NIO might be moving higher. So if you kind of coincide a lot of these transactions, it kind of looks roughly the same time period when NIO started to really recover right around here. So hedge funds might be kind of the saving grace for NIO, but right now with that 527, trading between this R3 and this R2. So 520 is going to be that key pivot. You really want to watch for NIO to continue to hold. I know we did break below that kind of briefly today, bounced off of this R1, but still just watch for that 520, and then 532 is going to be the next strong target. So similarly, it kind of bounced off of that general high for today. So just watch for over the next couple trading days for it to get above that 532. Aside from all of that fun stuff on the actual chart, like yes, we are red lagging other Chinese EVs, but we are still technically holding above that 200-day moving average. As I've mentioned in the past, you need 2 consecutive days to really signal a trend. So That's why today is a very big day for NIO. So if it's able to close and stay above that 200-day moving average, which it looks like it most likely will, so that 200-day moving average is sitting at 523, then in theory you'll see a nice continued push higher, and that you'll have algorithmic trading really kind of thinking that NIO's technicals are bullish and start to really push it higher. At the same time, looking at the market position, you see a hell of a lot of willing buyers and not that much in willing sellers. So in theory, as I've kind of signaled, all NIO needs is that nice gentle push. This is why shorts are really throwing a lot at it today to try to stop the momentum and really cause it to go down, as what they've frequently done in the past. There really hasn't been that much in other articles or speculative things aside from kind of what I brought up. No new analyst ratings, so it is just at the mercy of the broader market. So as per usual, NIO's price action is rather frustrating sometimes, but at least it is moving in the right direction. So ever since it did have the low on February the 4th, it has gone up a solid 15.71%. And again, for those of you that kind of listen to when I talk about options and so forth, if you would have, let's say, purchased a long call, you'd be up probably a good 50+%. So if you do believe in NIO, consider buying a call. I know it's unpopular opinion. A lot of individuals don't like me saying that. But again, if you ever want to kind of make a lot of money, that's kind of the way to do it, is through options. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Are you buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of general thoughts on the short activity today? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily, day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.